Hey YouTubers, what's up? Yours truly. Geez, it's been a while since I've had a chance to say that. Back to kind of get into the swing of posting some videos here and getting back in contact with all you guys. As I kind of mentioned in my last video, I was going through the process of making another move, very quick and kind of right behind the last move that I made, but I finally got in here and got kind of settled and so forth, and just want to kind of get back into the swing of making some videos here, and I thought I would kind of jump in and start by doing a response to Dan's number 3 thread. I'm sure there's a bunch of other things I've missed over the past 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going to have to kind of go back in and catch up with you guys and so forth, but I figure that's as good a place to start as any. And I'll probably show a few new finds here of a couple things I've picked up over the past week or so, but really, like I said, I want to kind of get into the swing of things again. And I'll go through and do a room tour once I kind of get everything really set up and finalized and kind of give you an idea about what my current setup is like. Which I definitely like it, have a little more space to work with and all that good stuff. But anyway, this is what's playing in the background. Just Hiroshima. It's kind of a band I actually discovered through Goodwill. I just kind of saw the cover, and actually it was another record I got prior to this one. Just decided to kind of check them out, and they have some pretty cool stuff. So anyway, let's start my welcome back with Dan's thread. Question number 1: do you consider yourself more of a collector or an audiophile? I'm definitely more of a collector. I mean, do I definitely value and appreciate good pieces? I mean, yes, of course. I mean, I have my music hall turntable, which I think is pretty nice. My Martin Logan speakers. I could probably use a little better, a more high-end kind of modern receiver, but I'm really happy with my equipment for the most part, and I mean, that's all I can really say about it. I mean, do I appreciate sometimes listening to things on a more vintage turntable and vintage setup? And yeah, I think there's definitely something a little different about it, but I'm not one that really craves every single little nuance you could possibly get by spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a system. If I had the money to buy some of this stuff, I would, but there's nothing in me that really craves it that much. So yeah, I'm definitely more about the collecting than the actual audio equipment, that is. Question number 2: how protective are you of your records? I think I'm pretty protective. I've never really been in a situation where I've had to be protective of my records, so maybe a little harder for me to answer. Matter of fact, the biggest thing I've found at times when friends might come over, or family, or whatever the case may be, most friends that might stop by, they tend to touch it with they tend to be kind of white gloves anyway. So they see how big my collection is, how serious I am about it, and I think once people get that impression, they're automatically like, ooh, he's serious about this. This is a collection, and when you're talking about someone's collection, you don't just go touching it and damaging anything. So I found most people usually take that approach to it. The one thing I think I've dealt with the most is, like, my brother one time was, playing some things and pulling some stuff out, and just kind of showing him how to hold the records, how you don't want to touch the actual surface of the record. And then the most, I would say, frustrating thing, but the thing I deal with the most is when people pull stuff out of the stacks, look at records, whatever, and put them back in. They don't know how to slide them back in without the sleeve coming way off on the end. So sometimes people are kind of going through and looking at things, by the time the night's over, there's like little edges of the sleeves hanging off throughout the stacks, and I got to go back in and kind of slide them all back on. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm pretty protective of my collection, but I just never had a situation where I've had to be, crazy about it. Question number 3: do you hang on to records that you no longer listen to? I want to say yes to that question, but I have to also kind of rephrase it in the way that it actually works for me in my collection. And what that is any record that comes into my collection is because there's something on there that I like, and I listen to. Now, whether I listen to it once every 2 years or once every other day, I like it and I listen to it. That's the only way it will come into my collection. So in that sense, once a record comes in, I can't really say I no longer listen to it. I just may not listen to it with the frequency of a record that I'm spinning every other day. So even if it's, it might be 2 years from now and a commercial comes on that reminds me of the song and I think, well, I haven't listened to that in a while, I might go back and listen to it then. There's really nothing in my collection that I technically say I no longer listen to. It's just not currently in my rotation right now. So, now that's probably the best way I can put that. Question number 4. 5 of your favorite or most cherished 7-inches. I think, like you, Dan, I cheated a little bit here. And what I pulled by favorite is really more so just things that I was happy to find on 7-inch. It really doesn't have much to do with value or anything like that, which is really the way it goes with my 7-inch collection. I don't have really any, and don't look for collectible pieces when it comes to 7-inches. It's just, has never been my thing. So that's probably the one area of my collection that's really, really about the music's sake and not even so much the piece itself, more so than my 12-inch collection. So let me kind of run through these. Megadeth, Symphony of Destruction, my favorite song by them of all time, so I was really happy to find that on 7-inch. Especially any type of, good metal on 7-inch period. Pay to Come with B-side Stay Close to Me, Bad Brains. And, that was the record store day release. And I won't take it out, but, that has a little, black and white sleeve in there and all that good stuff. Here's another one I'm very happy to have in my 7-inch collection, which is the group Cameo. The name of the song is Strange. I was really happy to have this one because She's Strange on the regular 12-inch full LP is a different version with this like rap mix that goes into it, which absolutely destroys the song. So I was happy to find this 7-inch of the original video version. And this is one that probably make you go, what? But you guys know how I am. Mike Post featuring Larry Carlton. That's the theme from Hill Street Blues. And again, as cheesy as that sounds, I don't know what it is about this song, but it takes me to a good place every time I hear it. It's almost like moving, creepy, yet a happy thing. There's just something about that song. I don't even remember anything about the series or anything, except it had something to do with policemen. But I love that track, so I was very happy to get that on 7-inch. I play that all the time. I have a 12-inch as well. Here's another one, which I was happy to have. The Black Crowes, She Talks to Angels. And I picked that one because I think She Talks to Angels is one of the best rock songs ever written, produced, the whole nine. I mean, you talk about just a perfect mixture between great vocals, blues, gospel, rock. I mean, everything is just incorporated in that song. So to have that on 7-inch, again, is one that I really like and listen to a lot. Blind Melon. This is No Rain on orange vinyl. And again, Blind Melon is not something that's easy to find on vinyl, period. So that was a nice pickup and one that I really like having in my collection. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, with Even in His Youth on the B-side. I don't know why I'm flipping it over with the white sleeve. But, yeah, I mean, and again, too, that's one where, I mean, in 1991, that song in and of itself just completely changed my, I shouldn't say completely changed, opened up a completely different path in music for me. And a lot of what I'm about today musically stems from that particular song. So to have that on 7-inch, to me, is also one that I cherish a bit. And then this one here, definitely as well, In This Moment. And this is Prayers with Daddy's Fallen Angel on the other side. And this is numbered 66 of 600 on the little picture disc there. And one of the reasons why I cherish this one so much is I think the record that this came off of, which is Beautiful Tragedy, was one of the best metal records of all time. I won't make a statement quite that powerful. It's been one of the best metal records that I have heard in quite some time. I mean, I love everything on that album, and the fact that nothing was ever printed on vinyl is something that's always been very disappointing to me. I would so love to have that on 12-inch. That would just be definitely one of my prized possessions. But at least they did put out a single of probably the 2 best tracks off of that album. So that's why I'm definitely very happy to have that one. So, question number 5. Do you ever feel like people can't relate to your interest in records? There's usually two feelings that I get about that. Sometimes I feel like people can't relate, yes, but also I don't expect them to get it the same way that I just figure there's so many things that I see people doing that I don't quite get. But that's one thing that I like a lot is I love seeing people's passions about things. That's something that really drives me. I really connect with it, even if I totally don't get it. But anytime you can see something that lights somebody up and really makes them, kind of gives them a greater meaning outside of just life, but something else that really makes their days worth going through those days, whatever those passions are, that's just a really cool thing to me. And sometimes it's even cooler when I don't quite get it, because then it's like something else out there in life I get to discover. So that's the way I feel about a lot of people's passions that I don't understand. So sometimes when I see it in return, when it comes to my record collecting, it's definitely something I embrace, that people don't quite get it, they don't quite understand it, but they're still just kind of like, whoa, that's incredible, that's awesome, look at that, wow. Whether it's based off of sheer numbers or I remember them and that type of thing. I think that's all great. The thing I think I experience the most is when maybe someone new comes over to my house or something like that and they see my collection and I get this impression that they see it, they think it's kind of neat, they obviously think that I think it's cool, so they start kind of acting like it's cooler to them than maybe it actually is what they actually know. That's something that I tend to get a lot, and that's when I feel like, okay, well, I appreciate you being open and and actually being positive towards it, but I can also tell that you really don't quite get it. But no big deal. But that's just something I tend to experience more so, and I don't expect everybody to get it. If everybody starts to get it, then there's something about it where it loses something. To some degree. We all like to have our little niches and things sometimes. I think vinyl is definitely one that's kind of special in that way. But so anyway, those are my response to Dan's 5 questions. I'm not sure how much time I have, so I think with these new finds, I'll just make another video here really quick and just post 2. And again, it's good to be back, guys. Look forward to communicating with you guys again. And the next day or 2, I'll try to do a tour video to show you kind of how I have my collection set up now. Alright? Take care, YouTubers. Great seeing you guys again, and look forward to hearing from you.